Hello, everybody. Welcome to this wonderful morning, or whenever you guys are around, around the world, whatever it is. This is a general, kind of, you know, uh, reading that it's supposed to be. I'm going to tell you what was happening through my old videos that I'll tell you. Basically, there was something happening. Basically, there was a way of how it goes, and this is what it seemed to be. And knowing the less, it was just how general it was, right? Basically, my video was didn't premiere from 6:45 in the morning or 7:30 in the morning, but it was the way of how it was. So it basically told me that it didn't work, it didn't work, it didn't work, and so I had enough with it. So the further ado, without any question, this is the way it was doing, and this is the way it was because this is just how it seemed to be. This is the way it was. This is the way of how generosity it seems to be, right? Because when you make YouTube videos, and for all my fans who are out there, it's basically good. But when you make a video and they're not, premiering at whatever times, and you get all, pissed off, annoyed, whatever it is, it causes big problems, So, as that aspect, it seemed to be very, how it was, and this is what it seemed to be. So, in this reading that I'm going to do, this is going to be how it's going to be. It's the way of how to accept on how it is, and it's the way it goes. So if you have any questions or any comments, and if you want to say something in live chat, go ahead. Say something, say hi, or whatever you want to do. Ask me a question, and then this is what it seems to be. So this is just a general reading, and this is how it is. It could be a very educational, it could be not, but it all depends on how it was, and this is what it seemed to be, right? So, knowing for a fact that this is just the way it goes, and it's the way of how it goes, right? So, this is a must. This is a must way of knowing, and this is what it's going to be. So, this is just a way of how it goes. I am drinking my coffee. It looks kind of good, isn't it? Yeah. So this is the way it kind of is, and this is what it seemed to be. So I'm going to start off on what's going on in this way it goes, and this is just a interesting way of how to believe it, and how it was. So I'm kind of like uh, telling you what's going on, and this is the way it was, because in general it's just the way it's accepting on how it was, and accepting on how things are, and you accept on how it was, right? So you are accepting on how it is, and this is the way it kind of how it was, and this is what it seems to be. So in general, this is the way it kind of goes, and this is how it is. So, so we're going to look at the oracle cards. We're going to look at the tarot. We're going to look at everything that is in this general reading that I'm going to do, because you need to accept on how everything was. So, everything can be all distant, or it's the way of accepting it, and this is just the way it was, and this is just the way it kind of goes. So in this reading, I'm going to say it, that this is the way it kind of, accepts and how it was, right? So this is just a general reading, and this is just how it was, so this is the way it was in one way or another, and this is just the way it seems to be, right? So you have to believe on how it was, and you have to accept on how it seems to be, right? So you need to understand on how it was, because you have to know, your strengths, your weaknesses, your the way it goes, and you have to accept on how general this was, because you think to yourself, oh, well, I'm doing this right, I'm doing this tenfoldly, and this is the way it was. So in general, this is what's going on, and this is how it's going to be. So I hope everyone will enjoy this reading. Give it a like, give it a comment, and this is how it was. Okay. So this is the way it seems to be, and this is how it's gonna be. So let's start off this. So in this general reading, that it kind of imposes where we have the Nine of Air, we have the of Water, we have the Nine of Earth, Ten of Earth, Page of Earth, Seven of Air, and Ace of Water. Like, we have 9 zodiac signs in this picture. But the only thing that we don't even have is basically the fire signs, as in Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. So there are things that you're trying to understand, right? Like, you have to understand about how you can find your own solutions, or you do what you can, right? Because you have to plan ahead, right? You have to believe on what you're looking for. This is just a general reading, but it's basically the truth. It's the way of how it was. You have to comprehend on how things are. It's basically how you can look at it from a different way, right? Because you need that. It's the opportunity. It's the way of how it was, right? Because in one way or another, this is the way it seems to be, right? Because you think to yourself, oh, I'm doing this right. Oh, I'm doing this. It's the way of how it goes, right? It's how you can do that as long as it needs to, right? And when you decide about how it was, you have to face your abilities, face your own momentum, face the way it goes. You have to look at this and you think, okay, well, I'm going to do it right. I'm going to do selectively and everything else, right? And you think back, you think about how generous it is, right? Because you need to face your own rights, your own abilities, your own standpoints, and you think to yourself, oh well, this is the way it goes. This is the way of accepting on how it was. Accepting on who you are and who you can comprehend and do things, right? You have to find your intuition, something like that. Like, you need to find your own gut feelings and everything else, right? So you need to understand where this is the way it was. This is how you can do what you can and to do whatever you decide to do, because in general, this is just a general reading. So let me look. Let me look what's going on through this situation here. So let's see what's going on here. Let's see. Tell me something what's the opposite of the Knight of Air and the Eight of Water. Okay, so you have the Ace of Cups is upright, followed by the Eight of Swords reverse. Okay, so basically you're not having anxiety. No, you're not. Okay. What's opposite with the Knight of Earth and the Ten of Earth? Two of Swords reversed, and then you have the Nine of Swords reversed. So you have no trauma in this situation. You already know exactly which direction you're going to take. All right. You know, there are things that you're trying to understand here where you need that motivation. You need to have that way of knowing what to do, and you need to, see what you can, right? In order to do things, you have to have a priority. Priority is one way or another to understand that. So what's obviously about the Page of Earth and the Seven of Air? The Ten of Swords is upright, followed by the Hangman is upright for restrictions. Yeah, there are restrictions that are going on in this way, because it's basically how general this is. It's the way of how you can do whatever you want to do, right? Because you think back to yourself and say, oh well, I'm doing this right. I'm doing this, how it was, right? Because you think to yourself, it's like, well, I know exactly which direction I'm going to take, left to right, but there are things that you're trying to understand. It's the way of trying to promote. Maybe you're going to promote something, I don't know, but you need to be doing what you can, right? If you have restrictions, if you do what you ever decide to do, is the way of knowing, right? Is the way of how you can do that. You have to think to yourself and say, all right, well, I'm doing this the right way. I'm doing this the right way. It's the way of generosity comes in. Generosity is a key. It's the way of knowing what to do, right? Because there are standards, there are ways to accept that on who you are and who you can do what you want to do. Like you have restrictions, right? It's the way of you can do that, but you need to understand. This is why this is just a general, reading. So let's see. So let's see. Let's see what's obviously about this Two of Swords here. The Seven of Swords is upright. Yeah, because it could be hurting. It could be that. What's else about this Eight of Swords here? Magician is upright because you're having skill. Yeah. What's Nine of Swords? Nine of Cups reversed. Okay. But yeah, the Five of Swords is upright for a conflict. Yeah, see, you're having conflict, right? It's because you're having conflict. You don't know which direction you're going to take. You already know exactly what you're going to be doing. But this is just how how vaguely this is, right? You have to accept on how things are. You need to accept on how it is. This is why that this is just a general reading. This is the way it goes, right? So just give me 1 second here. It's the way of knowing what to do. It's the way of how you can do it and how you can, do what you can. And, you think to yourself, all right, well, I'm doing this, right? And you have to think about that. And yeah, it's the way of how it goes. And this is the way it was, right? Because in generosity comes in and you think, okay, well, I'm doing it. I'm doing the best as I can, right? It's a way of accepting on how it was. It's the truth. It's the mannerisms. It's the way of accepting on who you are and who you are being with, and what have you, what have you, what have you. And this is the way it goes. This is the way of knowing about it, right? Because you think back to yourself and say, why I'm feeling hurt, why I'm feeling having skill, why I'm having conflict. You need to be wise. You need to be, how it was. You have to think to yourself and say, all right, well, I don't know what to do, right? And you do what you can, but it's the way of knowing that you can do that. It's the way of knowing that this is just how this reading went. It's the way of knowing. It's the way of accepting on whatever it was. So let's see. What's obvious about this Ace of Cups here? The Strength card reverse, yeah, because you have no strength here. You have no strength. What's opposite about this Ten of Swords? Ace of Cups is upright, yeah. Yeah, because it could be like a gift of love. Maybe it could be, how it was. What's the restrictions are? The World is reversed, yeah, because there was something that was incomplete. It's like you think to yourself, oh well, I can't do this. I don't know what to say. It's the way of believing in yourself. It's the way of knowing about it, right? Because it's the way of knowing what to do, right? Because you face your own abilities to understand that. You have to accept them on what's going on, So this is just a general reading. This is just a general reading because it is, right? So I'm going to figure this out. And, this is how it is. I will do this. Let's see. So let me think about what's going on here. So let's tell us about the Strength card and the Magician. Magician reversed is there's no skill. So you have skill, you want skill, but then you don't need skill. Okay, that's interesting. What's else about the Seven of Swords and the Ace of Cups? Eight of Pentacles reversed because there's no perfection. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What's obviously about the Five of Swords and the World? The Star is upright because there's inspiration. Yeah, because you're wishing upon something. You know, there is a way of knowing what to do. Please you think to yourself, all right, well, I'm doing this understanding about what's going on, right? Because you need to accept that. You know, you have to accept on how things are, and you need that. Right? It's the way of knowing. It's the way of how you can look at it and think to yourself, all right, I'm doing this correctly. You know, this is why that this is just a general, way of how it was. Tell me something what's the opposite between the skill. Let's see. 10 Pentacles reversed because there's no wealth. No. Wow, look at that. 9 Pentacles reversed. No comfort. 5 of Swords reversed. There's no revenge, right? So there was revenge, but then there's no revenge. Do you see it? Yes. What's else about this perfection card? Hangman is upright because there's stillness. Yeah, because those restrictions were coming along. What's else about this, about that? Page 1 is upright because there's invention. Yes, there is. Okay. What's else about the Star card? 7 of Wands reversed because there's no resilience. 7 of Swords reversed because there's no deceit. Nope. But the World is upright because there's completion. Yeah. See, there is a way, and there are ways that you need to understand. Right? It's the way of looking at it from a different way. Right? So what's opposite about this revenge card? 6 of Pentacles upright because there's kindness here. Yes, there is kindness. The Lovers reversed because there's no decisions. No. But the Wheel of Fortune reversed because there's bad luck here. There's bad karma. Yes. So you are being kind, but then you're having bad luck. Obviously, in generosity, it's the way of how it was. It's the way of trying to understand how it was in one way or another. Because you need to believe it. It's the way of knowing because you need that. You need that, how it was. So what's also with the Hangman and the Page of Wands? 3 Wands separate for communication. Yeah, see, you have kindness, communication, invention. You have completion. There are things that you're trying to understand, It's the way it was. It's the way it was in one way or another. What's going on here? Let's see what's obvious about this world. The King of Pentacles reversed because there's no security. No, it's not. But then you think back and you say misinterpretation of the moon because there's illusions, right? There were illusions that were doing that. The Chariot reverse means that there's no progress here. There's no progress. No. Because you don't need to progress on it. I don't know. But that's what it was. Oh yeah, the Queen of Swords reversed. There's no independence. Yeah, there's no independence. Okay, you're not doing it. It's the way of how it was. Right? You accepting on who you are and who you are dealing with, and that's how it was. What's also this Wheel of Fortune? Yeah, the King of Swords reversed. There's no knowledge. Yeah. You know, that's how it was. What's also about this independence? The High Priest has reversed. Yeah, because there's no inner voice. Yeah, you're not using your inner voice. It's not because you're not accepting it. What's going on with this knowledge card? Ace of Wands is upright because there's new beginnings. Yeah, new beginnings, kindness, communication, invention, misorientation. You know, that's how it was. For sorcerers, there's no recuperation. No, you don't need it. Ten of Pentacles, there's no vision. No. But Six of Cups is upright because there's the past. Yeah, because you're kind of stuck in the past. You're thinking about what was happening in the past situation. Like, it doesn't mean about how it was. And you think back of how it was, and it's the way of how it was. Because when you think about it, it's like you just have to understand, right? You have to think back. You have to think about what's going on, you know? It's the way of how it was in one way or another. Because you need to accept about your having the past, communication, kindness, new beginnings, invention, misrepresentation. There are things that you're trying to understand and trying to master. You need that way of knowing what to do, you know, because this is just a general reading. It is. So this is the way of how it was in one way or another. So let's see what's the opposite. So I'm going to reveal what's going on here. Page 1 is upright. Three of Pentacles reversed. Ten of Wands reversed. Okay. Is there anything else that would be opposite with those cards? The Moon reversed because there's no illusions like misorientation. King of Swords is upright. The Death card reversed because there's no endings here. Nope. Wow. It's very interesting on how it was because you think back. You think back on how it was. That's how it seems to be. What's up about this Moon card over here? Ace of Pentacles upright, yep. Five of Pentacles reversed, interesting. Queen of Cups reversed. Page of Wands reversed. Seven of Cups reversed, wow. Eight of Pentacles reversed. Four of Swords reversed. Six of Pentacles reversed. But then you have the Four of Cups upright because there's distraction here. Yeah, because you're looking for a distraction. It's like you're being kind, you're needing communication, you're stuck on the past, you have new beginnings. Like there are things that you're trying to understand, right? This is just a generosity reading, but then you think to yourself, all right, well, what's the use? What's the way? What's the give and take situation? It's the way of how to accept it. So we're almost done with this general reading. But it's the way of how you can look at it from a different angle. It's the way of how everything was. As you think back and you think to yourself, all right, well, I'm doing this correctly. So let's see. The Four of Coins is upright. Yeah, because you're thinking about money. Right. The Hierophant is reversed. Interesting. And the King of Coins reversed. Interesting. There was something that was very interesting about how everything kind of combines. Because when you think back to yourself, all right, well, I'll do this correctly. I'll do it as long as it needs to. Let's see. He wants to break his speed. Yeah, there could be that. So we deal with another Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. The Three of Swords reversed because there's no heartbreak. No, there wasn't. But then the Knight of Cups reversed because there's no romance. No, there wasn't. So I can see it. What's the bottom of this one? King of Wands is upright because there's passion. Yeah, see, there was passion here. The Judgment reversed because there's no action. But then you have the Ten of Cups. There is completion here. Yeah, see, everything is going to be completed, because you need that. You need to accept on how general it seems to be, right? So when you look back, the speed, the new beginnings, the passion, the completion, everything will combine, right? Because you need that. You need that quality of how it was. Because you think back and you think to yourself, all right, well, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do the right and wrong, or I'll do the right thing rather than the wrong thing, whatever it was. But you need to figure it out, because when you believe it, it's the way of accepting on what's going on, right? So let me see what the oracle cards are saying. So I'll do that one here, and then I'll do another oracle card that's right here. So let's see. Patience. I accept that everything happens in divine order. Yeah, so patience is the key, because you're going to understand about how it was. This is the way it was, this is the way it looks, this is the way how generosity and genuine and how things are, right? So you have to look at that in one way or another. This is what it seems to be. This is the way it goes, this is the way of how you can do things and understand the way it was, right? And you have discipline. I can accomplish what I set my mind to. Yeah, because discipline is the way of how it was. Because you think to yourself that you need that. You need that way of knowing And you need that. It's the way of how to accept, having discipline, having patience, having all of these that's going to come up. This is why this is a general kind of reading thing, but it's the way of knowing what to do, right? And last but not least is the Hog Prince, is spirit communication, paying attention. That's how it was. This is how it seemed to be. This is the way of knowing what to do, and this is how it was. So when you think back, you think to yourself, all right, well, this is what it seems to be. So you could be dealing with any kind of zodiac sign that you have here. So you could be dealing with another Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. You could be dealing with another Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus. You could be dealing with another Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, or the Earth signs, which is Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus. So every single zodiac sign that I just talked about, as in 12 zodiac signs, this is a lot. But it's the way of knowing what to do. It's the way of accepting on how it was, accepting about having patience, accepting about having discipline, the accepting of having spirit communication or paying attention. There are things that you're trying to understand. And when you do that, it's the way of knowing what to do. Face your own reality, face your own beliefs, and face about how it was. So before I let you go, pay attention to understand, because you need to accept, you need to believe on how it was, because you need to understand where things will go in a matter of time, and you need that because it's the way, it's the truth, it's the acknowledgement, it's how truth, reconciliation, whatever it was. And you need to understand where this is the way it was. So I hope that this reading helps you understand, pay attention to whatever I gotta say, understand, because this is the way it was. So I hope that this reading helps you, and this is what that I have for you. So I hope that this way to understand, this is how it goes, and I hope that you like this video. Give it a like, give it a comment, and I'll see you next time. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you. Thank you. Bye for now. Really have a good day.